By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on News 22, President Trump is aiming to change the country's national monuments.
Javier Gutierrez takes us to the 420 festival that took place this past weekend.
And Crystal Corrales shows us how community members organize for a March for Science.
All that and more on News 22 Wednesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shelby Montgomery.
And I'm Abran Ramos. The future of higher education in New Mexico is uncertain at best.
Governor Susana Martinez has vetoed the entire higher education budget for the state. A forum sponsored by the Associated Student Government of New Mexico State University started at 5:30 this evening and is looking into the ramifications of that veto. State Representative Bill McCamley says the governor is putting higher education into a situation from which it may not recover.
Well, the governor vetoed the entire appropriation for higher education in the state. And at New Mexico State, that means about 54% of the entire budget for the university. So if that's not fixed, the university as we know it ceases to exist.
The forum is underway now at the Corbett Center Auditorium. Chancellor Gary Carruthers weighed in on this situation. He says that the state legislature must think of new ways to create revenue.
There comes a time when you're down there where now this is about as efficient we're going to get. There comes a time when those people who are helping us, the legislature and the governor, are going to have to say we're going to have to have some more revenues.
Governor Martinez says she will call a special session to deal with the budget issue, but has not yet done it.
Another executive order from President Donald Trump is underway. This one would remove national monuments enacted since 1996, which authorizes the president to declare federal lands as monuments and restrict how the lands can be used. Over the past 20 years, tens of millions of acres have been protected as national monuments. The order is one of many the president is set to sign this week as he tries to gain as many accomplishments as he can ahead of his 100th day in office. President Trump has used executive orders aggressively over the last 3 months. National Park Service reports show good news for White Sands National Monument. The report shows more than 550,000 people visited White Sands in 2016. Those visitors spent almost $30 million in towns surrounding the park. White Sands Superintendent Mary Frias Sauter says they are delighted to share the experience of White Sands and introduce people to all southern New Mexico and West Texas has to offer. The report also shows White Sands is very important for the local economy. So it's been pretty windy here lately.
It has. I'm hoping it stops. Let's see what the current conditions are. Selena is next with your next look at weather. Thanks, guys. We're going to go ahead and look at our current conditions. Our skies are pretty clear with the temperature at 76 degrees. We have winds coming in from the southwest at 16 miles per hour. Our humidity is at 11% and dew point at 17 degrees. Our barometer is steady at 29.36 inches. Today we reached a high of 80 degrees, which is right where we're supposed to be. Our average is 81. We woke up to a low of 53 today, and we set record temperatures in 2000 with 91 degrees and in 1967 with 32 degrees. We didn't see any rain today, so our rain does still sit at 2.14 inches. That's all I have for your weather right now. Now back to the desk for more news.
420 is a day many across the nation get together to celebrate the marijuana plant.
But as News 22's Javier Gutierrez explains, to some, it means a lot more than that.
A steady stream of folks went through Young Park to take in the sights and sounds of the Las Cruces 420 Festival. There were many vendors who were happy to spread the spirit of the holiday.
You know, we were real excited about it. It's neat to come out and meet new people. Well, it's the best way to network and talk to people. And it's been great. Met a lot of people.
But to organizer Ken Thompson, it was much more than that. He is fighting to legalize marijuana for a different reason. 2 years ago, Ken's mother passed away from cancer.
For a while, as we were trying to get her out here, well, we were unsuccessful. We didn't get her out here fast enough. So my mom passed away at the age of 58. 3 months later, our father passed away. And so I have a purpose. I have a purpose, and that's to fight.
Ken and his wife Melissa have made it their mission to spread awareness of the benefits of marijuana. They hope one day soon it will be legalized all over the country. The effort they made to put on the 420 festival was recognized by some of the vendors.
Ken and Melissa did an awesome job for this festival. It was a beautiful festival. Las Cruces is a beautiful city. Your park here, I mean, the reception that we had from everyone here in Las Cruces has been amazing.
Now, although the death of Ken's mother weighs on him every day, he still continues to fight until marijuana is legal everywhere across the United States.
I just wish she was alive. But I did this for you, Mom. We did this for you. It's gonna get legalized, I promise. And I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to make sure that it gets legalized.
Las Cruces State Representative Bill McCamley introduced a bill to legalize marijuana, but it died in the House of Representatives. Javier Gutierrez, News 22.
Friday is the deadline for Congress to pass a funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. But the White House is sending mixed messages.
The problem is, how hard will the president push for his border wall? Corinne Kaifa has the latest from Washington.
With just days left for Congress to pass a funding bill and avoid a government shutdown, the White House sending mixed messages on what could be a major sticking point: funding for Trump's long-promised border wall.
There will be a wall built.
It's delayed for now.
No. No one said delayed. No. There's a there's two budget processes.
Monday night, there were signs the president may be willing to back off the idea of funding for the wall in this particular bill, which skeptical lawmakers on both sides agree would be a smart move.
It would remove the prospect of a needless fight over a poison pill proposal that members of both parties don't support.
I'm for a wall where it makes sense, but a 2,200-mile wall doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's not a big appetite for that.
Tuesday morning, the president took to Twitter to say he's not reversing course. Meanwhile, some White House sources are signaling the president wants some type of funding for the wall this week, but won't shut the government down over it.
We feel very confident the government's not going to shut down.
While the budget battle could be winding down, President Trump is aiming to deliver on another key campaign promise, slashing the corporate tax rate from 35% to 15%. He's expected to unveil details on that plan Wednesday. But some Republicans say that could be dead on arrival if it adds to the national debt.
Oh, look, tax reform is a big subject. Lots of moving parts. We're still discussing the way forward on that.
On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Community leaders gathered at downtown today to send New Mexico senators an important message. Comunidades en Acción de Fe, or CAFE, and the American Civil Liberties Union want Senators Udall and Heinrich to oppose President Trump's proposal for additional funding for Border Patrol and immigration enforcement. ACLU organizer Cynthia Pampa says that it's important for community members to get involved.
We think that our senators need to hear from us, right, and need to hear how the other needs that we have in southern New Mexico, everything else that needs to be funded, our schooling, right, our higher education, our health system, and they need to hear from us that what we don't need is more agents. The southwest border already has 18,000 Border Patrol agents.
She says this proposal will simply spread more fear on people in the borderland.
Scientists around the nation got together on Earth Day to march for the importance of science.
Cristal Corrales was there when people in Las Cruces marched around the downtown mall, holding posters and signs in the name of science.
What do we want? Science! When do we want it?
This is the chant for science of the city of Las Cruces. An estimated 800 people joined the march. Some even brought their dogs. Although there was a great turnout, Luis Ignacio Quiñones says he had hopes for more.
The whole city should be here. Should have 80,000 here. Because this planet's dying. Well, we're dying.
NMSU's Professor Hiranya Roy Chaudhry was one of the main organizers of the march.
We need to keep our community engaged in understanding that science is at the basis of everything that we do each day.
And after they finished their march, they set up tables where people could gather information. They also have postcards that people are signing to send out to senators or the White House.
Do not cut the EPA budget.
At the Ask a Scientist table, people had the opportunity to have their questions answered by actual scientists. Science, not silence, was one of the mottos of the march, and the people here are determined not to keep silent anymore.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Science!
Organizers say this is just the beginning. Now that they're involved, they intend to stay that way.
Not silence.
Cristal Corrales, News 22.
They're planning another march. It's called the March for Climate, Jobs, and Justice this Saturday at Albert Johnson Park.
And stay tuned. Selena will be back with your national forecast.
And later, a New Mexico mother is in trouble after leading police on a chase. More details on that when News 22 continues.
Hi, I'm Norma Vichot, Program Manager for KRWG. It's a brand new season and host Joseph Rosendo is headed on another journey. The new season of Joseph Rosendo's Travel Scope includes adventures to the Cook Islands in the Pacific, joining a parade of the medieval guilds during Zurich's festival, exploration of the stone figures on Easter Island, and the Amazon rainforest in Peru. Come scale new heights of adventure, natural splendor, and cultural richness this season. The travel adventure begins Sundays at 2 p.m. on KRWG.
Watch MHZ Worldview on Digital Broadcast Channel 22.2. Every day, world news and public affairs, and every night, international dramas, all in English or with English subtitles. Worldview is also available on Comcast Channel 395 in Las Cruces and 399 in Silver City and Spectrum Channel 1271 in El Paso. Become a member anytime at krwg.org.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters. Aggies Against Violence Week has kicked off this week. The T-shirts around campus is part of the Clothesline Project. The project is a way to show support to survivors of domestic abuse. This is only one of the events of the Aggies Against Violence Week. The administrative assistant at WAVE program says that domestic violence is not the only type of abuse women face.
Women who are in college of this age are way more likely to be sexually assaulted than women who aren't in college. So sexual assault is a big epidemic that we have in this country.
Aggies Against Violence Week continues tonight with a march down Stewart Street, a candlelight vigil, and the planting of a tree on campus. A man is in jail after threatening his father with a knife.
That's the first story in tonight's Crime Blotter.
Police arrested Alfred Lawrence Lopez Jr. after they say he threatened to kill his father with a knife. Las Cruces police found the father with injuries to his forearm. They say Lopez and his father got into a fight. Lopez Jr. was booked into the Doña Ana County Jail, where he's initially being held without bond. Las Cruces police arrested Horacio Moreno. They say he pushed his wife from a moving vehicle Saturday evening. Police found her unresponsive with injuries to her face and body. Investigators say Moreno became abusive, then punched her in the face and pushed her out of the car. Moreno was booked into the Doña Ana County Jail. And around 4 o'clock this morning, police say a resident of the Casa Bandera apartment complex was in the parking lot when he was confronted by an armed man who demanded his wallet while another man stood nearby as a lookout. Police are looking for the two suspects who were dressed in all black and last seen near the Jimmy John's restaurant near the apartment complex on University Avenue. I'm Yvonne Del Rio with the Crime Blotter.
Remove your valuables and lock your doors. Las Cruces police say auto burglaries have increased over the past months. These crimes are considered crimes of opportunity and occur when valuables are left in sight and doors unlocked. LCPD has a few tips to help avoid a burglary. Remove valuables, keep items of intrigue out of sight, and roll up windows. Lock doors and park in a well-lit area or in a garage.
Police say a mom led police on a drunken chase in Albuquerque with her 2 kids in the car.
The aftermath of the incident was captured on video. Madeline Schmidt reports.
On a Wednesday night earlier this month, Albuquerque police say this woman was responsible for drunkenly darting through town, leading police on a chase, nearly hitting other cars, crashing into a median on I-25, then hitting parked cars in a neighborhood before finally coming to a stop.
Sorry, you hurt?
APD says the 23-year-old mom did it all with her 2 kids in the SUV.
How old are you? 7:45.
Initially, Shirlena Charlie tells one officer someone else was driving.
I'm being advised the driver fled on foot. His name's going to be Gerald. He's wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, about 24 years old.
Which leads to this innocent guy being briefly questioned.
You're free to go.
But another officer says Charlie already fessed up to driving and drinking beforehand.
Someone needs to come and get the kids. You're going to jail for DWI. You have to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
You At jail, her attitude only gets worse as she's booked and told her already suspended license is being revoked.
Well, can I put my shoe on right before
I don't
you
know.
tell me to
Can
walk?
you? Once
well,
you're on
can
each
I
yellow
put
block.
it on right?
Can you?
Don't disrespect me like that.
It's like I said, it's suspended. You shouldn't be driving.
Oh my God, I don't give a
I know.
Charlie was ultimately charged with 2 felonies for child abuse. Madeline Schmidt, KRQE News 13.
A criminal complaint against Charlie says at one point, she told officers she's led police on a high-speed chase before, and next time, she's not stopping. So, even though it's been windy here in Las Cruces,
I wonder what it's looking like around the nation.
Selena is next with your national forecast.
Thanks, guys. We're going to actually look at current temperatures around the nation right now. Up in Seattle at 56, San Francisco at 60, Phoenix at 89, and closer to home in El Paso at 81. If you go ahead and look at the other side of the map, Cincinnati's at 85, Atlanta at 82, and Tampa at 83. Now going into our next map, we're going to be focusing in on Denver. They're expecting some snow starting Friday night into this weekend. The snow is going to it's going to cause travel delays, some sporadic power outages in places that are going to get a lot of snow, and it's going to reduce some visibility. Snow isn't too unlikely in Denver around the spring area, so this is pretty much normal for them, which is pretty cool. If you go ahead and look at our next map, you can see that we're going to go overseas into the state of Hawaii. They're expecting a lot of rain this weekend, the whole state actually. Places like the Big Island and Maui are going to be expecting the most rain. But the whole state is under watch for flash flooding, mudslides, and washed out roads. That's all I have for your national forecast. After the break, I'll be back with your New Mexico temperatures.
Hi, I'm Andreas Vista, host of New Scandinavian Cooking, the international cooking series that explores Scandinavian cuisine, culture, and history.
Thursday at 2:30 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
On Masterpiece.
Not an hour passes where I don't miss being with you.
Good, because I need to see you.
It's your results.
They're turning back now.
Why ever would I want to?
Home Fires on Masterpiece.
Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Only on PBS. It's music that makes you move.
The influence of Latin music on rock and roll was seminal.
It's fame and fortune.
The country was ready for the Latin explosion.
And it's as diverse as America itself.
This is a historic moment. This is a real crossover.
It's Latin Music USA. Friday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Welcome back. We're going to look at temperatures around New Mexico. Up in Farmington at 62, Santa Fe at 56, and Clovis at 63, down in Roswell at 69, Las Cruces being the warmest at 76, and Deming at 75. Tomorrow we're supposed to reach a high of 87 down here in Las Cruces, a high of 90 in Roswell, 80 in Clovis, 59 in Santa Fe, and 85 in Deming. Now Alamogordo is going to have some cloudy skies today and tomorrow with a low of 52 tonight and a high of 84 tomorrow. Truth or Consequences is going to get some clouds into tomorrow with a low tonight of 54 degrees and a high of 86. Silver City is going to be pretty clear skies tomorrow with a low of 69 tonight and a high of 73 tomorrow. And here in Las Cruces, we're going to have some clouds staying from tonight into tomorrow with a low tonight of 60 degrees and a high of 87. That's all I have right now for your New Mexico weather. I'll be back at the end of the newscast with your 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Selena. Racist flyers were found on campus in Texas.
That's the first story in tonight's Southwest Minute.
The students at the University of Texas at Arlington were shocked to find the flyers around campus. They say it's the duty of Caucasians to report illegal aliens and also state that America is a white nation. The group behind the message is opposed to the possibility of UTA becoming a sanctuary campus. The flyers also include the website of Vanguard America, a white supremacist group. Firefighters from 7 different agencies continue to fight the sawmill fire in Green Valley, Arizona. The fire began Saturday as a small brush fire, but quickly grew due to dry conditions and wind. By Monday morning, the fire had spread, and officials say the fire had burned more than 7,000 acres. And a California teen has been arrested after a woman was found dead inside her home. Authorities were called to a house southwest of Tulare and found the homeowner dead inside. Deputies arrested the suspected prowler. I'm Stephanie Muniz with the Southwest Minute.
It was a big weekend for the NMSU golf team this past weekend.
It sure was. I can't wait to hear all about it. Whitley Newberry is next with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, one Aggie team just won another WAC championship, and 4 Aggie athletes are first place finishers. Don't go too far because NEWS22 Sports is next.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Front and Center is your ticket to a music series like no other. A unique exchange between the music industry's most awarded artists and their beloved fans. This week on Front and Center, rock out with the grandfather of the Jersey Shore sound. Don't miss Front and Center, now in its 7th season.
Saturday at 11 p.m. on KRWG TV.
This is KRWG TV NEWS22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Whitley Newberry, and let's talk sports. The Aggie women's golf team is celebrating their 4th straight WAC championship. The Aggies finished the final round of the WAC tournament Friday, leading with a low score of 907. Panchanchi helped lead the Aggies to victory and took home the individual first place medal. She finished the tournament shooting .219. Kristen Klein finished in 8th and Dominique Galloway in 21st. The Lady Aggies head coach also took home WAC Coach of the Year. The Aggies will head to the NCAA Regionals May 8th through the 10th. The golf team isn't the only one that had a successful weekend. NMSU Track and Field has 4 first place finishers. The Aggies competed at the UTEP Invitational on Saturday. Chrissy Omberg won the 800 meter with a time of 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Kiara Wilson was also victorious in the women's high jump with a mark of 1.68 meters. Kaylee Farmer took home first in javelin, and Aquata Enzi Limba finished first in the discus. The Aggies head to Cali for the Steve Scott Invitational this Friday. The Aggie baseball team is recovering after a tough loss against the number 13 Arizona Wildcats. The Aggies fell short 11-2 Tuesday night at High Corbett Field. The Aggies got off to a slow start, giving up 6 runs to the Wildcats in the first half of the game. The Aggies kept struggling and committed 6 errors, which gave the Wildcats another 5 runs. The Aggies are looking to add another win to their record as they take on Grand Canyon in a 3-game series this weekend. It will kick off Friday night at 6 at the Skew. And tonight's play of the day is brought to you by Chris Coughlin from the Toronto Blue Jays.
And the 1-1. In the air out to right. Backing up is Scotty near the wall. He leaps and it's off the wall. Ball gets away. Coughlin racing to the plate. The throw is not in time, and an incredible slide by Coughlin. One of the most unbelievable slides you'll ever see. Diving
And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Selena will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, this snack comes in many different forms, sometimes crunchy and sometimes filled with cheese. Find out which snack food is celebrating its special day when News 22 returns.
Next time on Call the Midwife.
Nurse Di, welcome to Nonata's house. Together, we're going to save the borough's teeth.
I must get back to Sister Winifred. She'll be thinking Nurse Franklin has run me out of town.
We must instruct our troops. An innocent is in danger.
Sunday at 7 p.m. on KRWG TV.
We've got some great baked for you on this masterclass.
Can't wait to get going.
Chop it, mix it up.
You love using your hands, don't you?
Let's get physical.
Who needs a machine when you've got a Paul Hollywood?
Sunday at 3 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Crunchy, salty, and twisted in a unique shape. If you haven't guessed it yet, today is National Pretzel Day. National Pretzel Day was first recognized in Pennsylvania in 2003. The snack is actually very important to the state's history, and that's the reason the day was made. Pretzels were introduced to North America by Dutch immigrants in Pennsylvania, and the state is still an important piece in the American pretzel industry. 80% of U.S. manufacturers are based there in Pennsylvania.
Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast.
Yeah, our 5-day forecast, we are going to drop in temperatures up until Saturday in the 70s, but we'll be back up in the 80s on Monday. So it's looking pretty comfortable this next 5 days.
All right.
Hopefully the weather's nice this Friday for the Waka Flocka concert.
Hopefully.
And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. News 22 Wednesday. Thanks everyone for joining us. Good night.
And tune in tomorrow night for News 22 Thursday.
I'm Shelby Montgomery.
And I'm Obran Ramos.
Good night.
This news brief in Espanol is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Los saluda Alfredo Nahum en este breve informativo de Noticias 22. La policía de Las Cruces arrestó a un hombre por empujar a su esposa de un vehículo en movimiento el pasado sábado. De acuerdo con la investigación, Moreno fue a recoger a su esposa después de una reunión que ella tuvo con algunas de sus amistades. Durante el trayecto en su auto, la mujer se dio cuenta que su esposo estaba armado. Al llegar a una intersección, la mujer intentó dejar el vehículo y fue ahí cuando el hombre la golpeó y la empujó por la puerta mientras él aceleraba el carro. Moreno fue arrestado, pero el día martes pagó por completo el total de su fianza. Y la policía de Las Cruces investiga un robo a mano armada ocurrido hoy en los departamentos de Casa Bandera. Alrededor de las 4 de la mañana, un habitante de estos apartamentos se encontraba dentro de su vehículo en el estacionamiento, cuando un hombre armado y su cómplice aparecieron para robar su billetera. El principal sospechoso es alto y delgado, pero llevaba su rostro cubierto. Cualquier información para identificarlos puede ser reportada al número que aparece en pantalla. Y en México, las autoridades han detenido al presunto culpable de las desapariciones de los 43 estudiantes de Ayotzinapa en 2014. El acusado es Walter Alonso de Loya, también conocido como Medusa. Familiares de los estudiantes han estado protestando fuera de las oficinas de la Fiscalía Federal en la Ciudad de México por más de una semana, levantando su voz y pidiendo justicia. Y esto ha sido todo para Noticias 22, Alfredo Nahum.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.